Good evening, everyone, and welcome to your evening news. I'm Haley Chandler alongside the beautiful Kiara Coffey reporting live from the University of North Florida. All of us here are wishing everyone a late happy Valentine's Day, and for all the single ladies out there, did you know that 15% of you send flowers to yourselves on Valentine's Day? Ladies, I know what you're thinking. Men need to step up their game. I'm sure you've all been aware of the chaos that's been floating around UNF's campus since a month ago, but the 2012 Republican presidential debate took a toll on UNF, attracting over 150 different news agencies from all over the world and 40 different communication vans parked alongside UNF campus. Student government president and close friend of mine, Matt Brockelman, who was allowed to attend the event, reported that it was absolutely incredible, one of the best experiences of his life. With more of an inside scoop on the debate, here's Kelsey Weimer reporting live from UNF Media, who's going to give us some inside footage on what went down at UNF.
Kelsey Weimer here with UNF Media. Exciting news about the GOP debate coverage. Nick Galuch and I just got off of the CNN Express bus behind me and got an interactive tour. We weren't able to bring the cameras in there, but we can give you all of the insight and coverage on our website at unfmedia.com. Now, even more exciting coverage. Follow me. We are actually going to go backstage at the CNN stage right across from the green. My new friend Leon, my insider at CNN, is actually going to give us an insider tour right now. It's my first time up on this stage, so I haven't even seen it yet. Let's go. Wow, this is amazing. I haven't seen anything like this. Leon, can you tell me a little bit more about what goes on back here?
This is where all of our anchors, and this is where we actually shoot our shows.
Okay.
So that's what we'll be doing tonight. And they will sit up there in those chairs, and then we have the lights and the cameras and have the school in the background with the CNN Express bus.
So what do you do for CNN?
I'm one of the cameramen.
Okay, great. Do you like your job here?
Oh, I love it. It's great.
How are you enjoying Jacksonville so far?
It's great. Great people and a lot of fun.
Excited for the debate tonight?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so Nick, why don't you give them a tour of the stage right here? As you can see, they've got multiple cameras and lighting, and there's a little Zara Theater right behind us. Well, that's it, Ospreys. We'll give you all the updates and more on unfmedia.com.
Important information on a hazing scandal that happened at FAMU.
Now we all have seen hazing stories in movies and television shows. It may show a group of girls going skinny dipping or guys having to do strenuous physical activities, but more recently it got far more serious. A few weeks ago at the Florida Bowl, an HBCU traditional football game between the Bethune-Cookman University and Florida A&M University, a band member was found dead. The halftime show Battle of the Bands is one of the most exciting segments of the games, especially for Robert Champion, one of FAMU's 6 drum majors. On November 19th, Champion was found dead on a band bus with blunt trauma blows from flogging. Recent details of a wrongful death lawsuit have surfaced, including what exactly happened on that bus. According to the lawsuit, Champion was forced to walk down the aisle of the bus as his bandmates beat and kicked him. Champion died from shock caused by severe bleeding, authorities say. Detectives are investigating the death as a homicide.
On Sunday, January 29, 2012, at 3:45 a.m., there was a horrific pileup on Interstate 75 near Gainesville, Florida. The crash ran for 1 mile and involved at least 19 vehicles, 7 of which were tractor trailers. This crash was so destructive that most of the vehicles caught on fire and some burned down to almost nothing. The wreck sent 18 people to the hospital and killed 11. 10 of these people were found immediately, while the last one was found days later with 2 other victims in an unrecognizably damaged pickup truck. The cause of this wreck was the zero visibility on the interstate because of a combination of fog and the smoke from a brush fire nearby. For now, officials can find no natural cause for the brush fire, and now here's Casey with the rest of the local weather.
Make a deal with your boss, then. I'm meteorologist Jim Kosick, along with AccuWeather.com. You said, no, wait. our Diaper Drive 2009's over. All right, here's the deal. Gonna snow! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! And I would be meteorologist Jim Kosick along with Acura.com. That storm system's rolling on in, coming in from the west, coming in from the south. Now, this one, mucho farther north, though, than its predecessor this past weekend. We got squat, diddly, zip, zilch, goose egg. Absolutely nothing from that one. This one, as we go to 35 degrees this afternoon, 34 on the Cape. Hey, looking good there, wussy. Not that the people in Worcester are what. It's an abbreviation, for crying out loud. Anyhow, clouds thicken tonight. And the end result is snow coming on up the chute tomorrow, and not just any snow, wind-driven, blowing, boom, 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 kaplowy snow. So you have the blowing and drifting, drifting and blowing, blowing, and all that stuff to go on along with it. 3 to 6 inches. North and west to 128, 6 to 10 elsewhere. Highest of that 6 to 10 probably down on the Cape and the South Shore. It will taper off to Thursday, but more blowing and drifting here. Ooh, I like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because we're going to be snow blind. Yeah.
And now here's Jordan with sports news.
This week in sports news, Penn State has been wrought with one of the biggest scandals in the school's history. There are allegations that former Penn State assistant coach Jerry Sandusky sexually assaulted or had inappropriate contact with at least 8 underage boys or near the university property. Jerry Sandusky was indicted on 42 counts of child molestation dating from 1994 to 2009, even though the alleged abuse may go back to the 1970s. Per the findings of this investigation, several high-level school officials were charged with perjury, suspended, or dismissed for allegedly covering up the incidents or failing to notify authorities. One of the most publicized officials was former head football coach Joe Paterno. He is criticized for not following up with school officials after reporting the incidents of molestation or reporting it to police authorities. When accusations were made public and Paterno was scorned for his lack of efforts to make sure that the case was investigated. Paterno, who had been Penn State's iconic coach for more than 60 years, was fired after an internal investigation was conducted amidst the scandal. Paterno's health was failing, so his testimony in court was delayed until he was able to participate in the proceedings. Unfortunately, Paterno passed away from complications of lung cancer before he was able to go to court. A lot of people say that the stress of the trial was his demise, but that was something we will never know.
Sutton Houston here talking about sports and the Florida Gator football recruiting program, which truly is a sport behind a sport. Many people don't know, but as soon as the football season ends, the recruiting season has already begun and will continue. Sorry, I'm rambling. Thank you, Haley. Sutton Houston here with the Florida Gators football recruiting program, which truly is a sport behind a sport. It starts in February and ends the following February each year. It's culminating in the National Signing Day, which is February 2nd. The way recruits are broken into classifications, I guess you could call them, would be there's 5 stars. A 5-star prospect would be the elite high school athlete who's expected to come into college the next year and contribute as a very important part of a football team his freshman season. There were 33 5-star prospects this past year, with 2 of the top 5 players in the country actually committing to Florida. They were DJ Humphreys from North Carolina, he was a left tackle, as well as Jonathan Bullard from North Carolina, a defensive end. The Florida Gators signed 6 of the top 100 players in the country. One of them, Dante Fowler Jr., was committed to the Florida State Seminoles for almost the entire year before switching on signing day to the most heated rival of the Seminoles, the Florida Gators. Continuing on with the Florida tradition, Kent Taylor, a legacy from Florida, actually signed with the Gators. He committed in mid-January and will enroll early, much earlier than most of his high school counterparts. Marcus May, a safety from South Florida, is ranked the number 70 player in the entire country, and he will also be playing for the Florida Gators. Rounding out the top 100 is Brian Poole, a cornerback, the number 80 rated player in the country, and he will be playing alongside many other very good athletes with the Florida Gators. The Gators came in with the number 3 ranked recruiting class, right behind Alabama, Texas, and right in front of Ohio State. It's interesting because Ohio State's recruiting class was very subpar until hiring Urban Meyer, as many of you know, who was the former Florida Gators head coach. Areas of improvement that the Gators hired were defensive tackle, and areas where they needed improvement were wide receiver. The wide receiver class was already very short, as many of you Gator fans know, and they only signed 2 prospects who weren't very good, to say the least. The improvement area was definitely defensive tackle, and the highlight of that group was Dante Phillips, the number 118 rated player in the country coming out of Orlando, Florida. They signed 4 overall defensive tackles, with the biggest of which being Visazio Salt, coming in at 340 pounds, truly a massive human being. Sleepers in this would be Brian Cox Jr., a defensive end from St. Thomas Aquinas in Fort Lauderdale. He's only played 2 years of varsity football, but he truly is an amazing talent, and once his skills get honed, he could be a player who could be playing in the NFL in his very near future. As well as Brian Cox, we have Matt Jones, a running back who is listed in the top 250 players in the country. Matt Jones is an interesting topic because we had 2 running backs committed, the second of which being Mike Davis out of Stevenson, Georgia. However, Davis decommitted and is now playing at South Carolina, so that made Matt Jones the only running back that we have in this class. He injured his ACL midway through his senior season, but should be coming back shortly, completely full health and ready to go.
McDonald's confirmed that it has eliminated the use of ammonium hydroxide, an ingredient in fertilizers, household cleaners, and some roll-your-own explosives in the hamburger meat. The company denied that its decision was influenced by the months-long campaign by celebrity chef Jamie Oliver to get ammonium hydroxide-treated meats like chicken and beef out of the U.S. food supply. But it acknowledged this week that it stopped using the unappetizing pink goo made from treating otherwise inedible scrap meat with the chemical several months ago. Besides being used as a household cleaner and in fertilizers, the compound released flammable vapors, and with the addition of certain acids, it can be turned into ammonium nitrate, a common component in homemade bombs. It is also widely used in the food industry as an antimicrobial agent in meats, as a leavener in breads and cake products. It's regulated by the U.S. Agriculture Department, which classifies it as generally recognized as safe.
A few years ago, we did that story about how McDonald's uses this pink slime to make its hamburger meat and its chicken nuggets, right? And basically what it is basically meat that has been ground up very finely. And then they use something known as ammonium hydroxide in order to kill all the bacteria in the meat. Now, this is not like great cuts of meat, right? It's basically like the odds and ends of the animal that are left over. And like I said,
Really?
yeah, obviously. And then they have to use this ammonium hydroxide because of the fact that it has a ton of bacteria in it. And they use this nasty slush to make all of their products, right? Mm-hmm. So there's this chef by the name of Jamie Oliver who decided to really give McDonald's a hard time about this. And as a result, McDonald's USA has just announced that they will stop using ammonium hydroxide in their beef.
Wow, you got to give Jamie Oliver a lot of credit. At first I was thinking that maybe he was doing it to get some attention and like, is that kind of a cheesy PR move and stuff? But look, you got the job done. On the other hand, now your meat will have bacteria in it.
No, well...
No, I hope they found another way.
I hope they found another way as well. Who knows what that way is? But what I found really fascinating about this story, and everyone already knows this, right? You go to Canada or you go to a different country and they have standards there. They have regulations put in place so fast food companies can't use a cleaning product in order to sanitize the beef. Mm-hmm. Right? So what's amazing to me is that a spokesperson from McDonald's in Canada released a statement saying, oh, we've never used this disgusting product in our meat. Like, we've always only used 100% beef, salt, pepper, and that's it. You know, and I remember having a burger when I was in Europe once and thinking, and it was a McDonald's burger, and thinking, wow, this tastes really good. McDonald's is awesome. And it turns out that, yeah, it's not the same thing. It's so different. In the U.S., we have no standards. We'll eat anything.
Well, when I was in Taiwan, all the restaurants had signs on them saying, don't worry, no U.S. beef allowed. Okay? Because our reputation abroad is those guys will do anything for $1. So God knows what's in their beef. The goo that they use, it's pink. And the reason it's pink is because they shave some of it off of the bones and the blood mixes in.
Yeah.
That's why they got to use that bacteria-killing chemicals to get all the blood, etc., out of the goo. Mm-hmm. That's why you have 99-cent value menus, because if you're going to produce it for that cheap, you got to find a way to do it. So it's not like they can't do it with the bacteria-killing things. It just will cost you a little more, right?
Right.
Thank you so much for that important nutrition information, Casey. I will definitely be more aware of that when debating which fast food choices I should make. Here in Florida, we've come across some very weird stories, but not quite as weird as a homeless woman caught on tape not only stealing food from a 57-year-old man's refrigerator, but also making herself comfortable by living in one of his spare bedrooms for months. Or a man's excuse when caught with possession of weed being that he was in the process of going green. With more strange news, let's take it over to Dana Ward.
Some news stories are too strange to believe, but we've got the weird news compilation up next. Welcome to Get the Daily. I'm Dana Ward with some stories that you're just not going to believe to be true, but these wacky happenings are real news. The police busted a 30-year-old man in possession of several large bags of marijuana. The Iowa man went on to file a complaint with the local police department, stating that he was in the process of going green, specifically by turning the drugs into compost. But the cops chose to put the guy in jail for the weekend. Imagine the expense of a parking ticket that is more than 21 years late. One anonymous person in Texas finally paid off a 1987 $3 citation, and it only set the person back $6 as the fee doubled 120 days after the ticket date. A man in Japan said he became confused when food in his refrigerator continuously disappeared. It prompted the 57-year-old to set up a hidden camera and catch an intruder in his home. The police responded to his call and found that a 58-year-old unemployed woman had been living in one of the man's unused closets for months. In response to being arrested by police for trespass, the woman reportedly said that she didn't have anywhere to live. The designer of the recognizable cylinder Pringles package really meant that once you pop, you can't stop. Frederick J. Bauer requested some of his cremated ashes be placed in a Pringles container and buried in his Ohio grave. The children of the 89-year-old who died May 4th honored his request and buried the rest of his remains in an urn at the same site. Bauer's family said he was proud of the packaging patent he designed for Procter & Gamble in 1966. You can now read about other people's extreme wedding mishaps in a new book called Tied in Knots. This anthology is not talking about a bride fainting or a groom slipping. The funny wedding day storybook includes a tale of a bride getting food poisoning at the altar from the rehearsal dinner at the couple's favorite romantic restaurant, as well as an entry about a red gown bride not being recognized by the justice of the peace, her brother catching on fire at the reception, the electricity going out, and then the septic tank overflowing onto the lawn of the outdoor party. Because unforgettable happenings described in the novel do happen, one company, WedSafe.com, sells insurance to cover possible wedding day mishaps. Coverage ranges from $185 all of the way up to $50,000. From GetTheDaily.com, I'm Dana Ward. We'll see you tomorrow for more news updates.
Thanks, Dana. Now back to Kiera, who's going to inform us more about some interesting talents roaming around Jacksonville's streets.
This young woman has found herself in quite interesting talent. I don't even know how she found out about this, but this young lady can say words backwards at the drop of a dime.
Okay, guys, you're going to have to help me with words.
Okay, Alyssa, anyone can say a word to her, any word. She can say it backwards within 3 seconds. All right, let's go, sis.
Chevrolet.
Telerevic.
Fireworks.
Scrubberith.
Savings.
Skinevaz.
Gallon.
Nolag.
Download.
They all in one.
Lamborghini.
Huh?
Lamborghini.
In our rugby mouth.
Landstar.
Rats to now.
Corn nuts.
Stunner Rock.
Bugles.
Sligo.
Cheetos. Combos.
Sobmock.
Fritos.
Soturf.
Pepsi.
Is Pep.
Bank.
Knab.
Burger King.
Genick Red Grub.
McDonald's.
Sidlane Outcome.
Flames.
Smouth.
Silverado.
Outer Red List.
Garage.
Huh?
Hibbit.
Tebbe.
Garage.
Egarag.
Mower.
Rewam.
Fence.
Ekneth.
Asphalt.
Tulofsa.
Concrete.
Eterknock.
Cement.
Tnimic.
Post.
Tsop.
Wire.
Aru.
Ozark.
Krazo.
Water.
Redaw.
Wichita.
Awatiksa.
Express.
Oh my gosh. What?
Express.
Serpsa.
Bridge.
Egderb.
Tahlequah.
Heyokalit.
Sequoia.
Huh?
Sequoia.
Heyokayas.
Somebody else try.
Nave. Somebody else say a word.
Kaleidoscope.
Huh?
Kaleidoscope.
Epoxidaic.
Withdrawal.
Huh?
Withdrawal.
Elward Hatu.
Say the word like the right way and then say it backwards so that in case the camera doesn't hear what they're saying.
Okay.
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. Sinayam.
Omniscience.
Omniscience. Dagnix Inmo.
Choctaw Travel Plaza.
Azal Plavart Watcock.
You're supposed to say it first.
Well, we can hear you. You're right here.
Kavanaugh.
Lanavac.
Florida.
Adderall.
Panama City Beach.
Hakea Butic Anime.
String.
Mirror.
You're about to hit it. Air conditioner.
Renault Tidnock Raya.
Super Center.
Retnik Ripus.
Helicopter.
Retpokala.
Totopoke.
Ekapa Etot.
This is crazy. Dolphins.
Niflod.
Whales.
Salah.
Sharks.
Scrass.
Dog.
God.
That was still a word. Gosh. Hospital.
Letipso.
Mischievous.
Mischievous. Evekasim.
Gas pump.
Pump Pasang.
Did I say just gas?
I'm letting it fill up.
Snack Center.
Retnik Scans.
American flag.
Galf Nakarima.
Australia.
Aelortsua.
Antarctica.
Catnat Retnik.
Russia.
Aesir.
Asia.
Fluorescent. Tenexerolf.
Asia.
Aeza.
United States.
I don't even know how it would even begin to do that. Gosh, it's crazy. But now we have Jordan giving us a fun birthday shout out.
I would like to say happy birthday to the greatest basketball player of all time, Michael Jordan. He's turning an astounding 49 today. Right here, we're going to have a clip of one of my greatest Michael Jordan moments of all time.
Well, the crowd lets you know what they think of it. Now we will wait for the judges. Of 48 ties, of 49 wins. Michael Jordan scored 50. They gave him a 50. They gave Jordan a 50. He defends his championship. And he took off further inside than he did the last time, but it's still a spectacular dunk and certainly deserving of the high score that he received, Steve. But Dominique Wilkins got the short end of a very impressive dunk. Consistent judging all day until the last two dunks prior to this, the 47 and the 45.
A note was passed down to the judges.
This is Chicago. The home fan advantage, I think, worked in favor. There's Dominique watching that last dunk. Well, it's like figure skating or any kind of gymnastics.
And that's our show.